everybody, what is up? It's Balloon. Welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are ya? Yes, as you can see, I'm not like ready to film. I'm actually sitting here doing my makeup for some videos today. So before I start, I wanted to come and address this and get into this because it's been something that's been quite a hot topic over on Twitter. You may or may not have noticed. Of course, we're going to be talking about Shane Dawson posting his kind of comeback video on his Shane channel, which is of course the video that he posted the other day, aside from his Halloween series. Now the Halloween series, of course, that was like, bam, #1 trending. Everybody loved it. Well, everybody who loves Shane Dawson loved it, and that was really successful for Shane. So Shane the other day posted a video that was just like a kind of random vlog type video where he went over to Chuck E. Cheese Pizza to kind of revisit his whole conspiracy on Chuck E. Cheese Pizza, the fact that they were, you know, possibly recycling pizza, and the video was titled The Lawsuit of Shane Dawson. So in this video there was a lot of joking about like Shane dreaming that Ryland had a vagina, and it was funny, it was entertaining, I really enjoyed it. It was just a funny, light-hearted video. They went in the car to go to Chuck E. Cheese Pizza and, you know, see what the tea is, see if Chuck E. Cheese has changed since Shane's video on them. And, girl, no, it didn't look like they had changed, to be honest. I mean, the pizza slices still looked a little bit wonky to me, if you ask me. But the fact that Shane posted this video had people mad on Twitter. Oh, some people were so mad and so pressed about the fact that Shane dared to post a video during Black History Month. Now, of course, this is because of Shane's past content where he was doing blackface and things. People have this opinion that Shane Dawson is racist, and therefore some people decided to get annoyed that he'd posted this video during Black History Month. One of those people being another YouTuber called Sharita Explains It All. Now, Sharita is somebody that I've watched and enjoyed on YouTube. So when I saw this comment from Sharita, I was a bit like, hold up. I was a bit like, wow, you know, what is this? I was like, this is messy, you know. To come out and just outright say, oh, Shane Dawson posting his video during Black History Month is racist. Now, for me, when I saw this comment, I was like, wow, Sharita. Sharita, in my opinion, knew that that tweet would garner a lot of backlash to her from Shane Dawson fans. And of course it did. Shane Dawson fans responded to Sharita's tweet, you know, by saying, how is it racist that Shane posted a video? And then there was this whole Twitter argument, which, yes, I was involved in. A whole Twitter argument about this whole topic. And of course it descended into people throwing around slurs at white people like, oh, it's the caucasity of it all, you know, you guys are just racist apologists, you know, anyone defending Shane Dawson to them is a racist apologist. And this is honestly something that I've dealt with before, you know. Yes, I'm a drama channel, but, you know, I can still enjoy people's content and everything. But this being called a racist apologist is something that I've dealt with before. Whenever I've said, oh, you know, well, Shane Dawson's old racist remarks and jokes were more than 10 years ago, you know, how come people are still bringing this up and not willing to forgive him? You know, my point in this whole discussion that erupted on Twitter between Sharita and the Shane Dawson fans, my point in this whole discussion was, how come some influencers like Laura Lee, who, let's not forget, has used the N-word, and it came out that there were racist tweets from Laura Lee. So my argument in this whole discussion was, how come it's okay for people to forgive Laura Lee and say that Laura Lee has changed and moved on and grown since her scandal, but you can't extend the same courtesy to other influencers such as Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star? So then, because of my opinion and my question on why is it okay for other influencers such as Laura Lee to be forgiven for racism but not Shane Dawson, my questions sparked a lot of outrage among the people who agreed with Sharita on Twitter. And, you know, once again, they started calling me racist apologist, etc, etc. Honestly, though, for me, when I questioned Sharita on her tweet, I did something that I probably shouldn't have done, which was I said that she was trying to be the new Here for the Tea. Here for the Tea, of course, if you don't know, was a drama channel back in the day, and a lot of people respected Here for the Tea. I personally didn't, but I still shouldn't have done what I did in comparing Sharita to Here for the Tea. And for that is the only part that I will take accountability for, and I will apologise for comparing Sharita to Here for the Tea. That was petty of me. I shouldn't have done that, but in the moment I was very angry because of Sharita and the people who were agreeing with Sharita, you know, doing what I felt like was a calculated kind of attack on Shane Dawson fans. So that was why I then made that comment about Here for the Tea, because I felt like, okay, why are you just focusing on Shane Dawson's racism when other influencers have been racist in the past and have been forgiven for it? You know, we've had James Charles making tweets about Ebola and Africa. You know, we've had Laura Lee with the M-word, and other influencers have done the same thing. But because Sharita likes Manny MUA and Laura Lee is Manny MUA's bestie, it seems to me that they're willing to forgive Laura Lee and what she did just because they like Manny MUA and Laura happens to be his bestie. I was like, how does this work? How are you going to say that this is about racism when you're forgiving one influencer and then not another for the same thing, for doing something that was racist? I can sit here and fully admit that what Shane Dawson did in the past was racist. But I watched Shane's Taking Accountability video, and yes, although it isn't my apology to accept, you know, I can see someone sitting down in front of a camera apologising, and I can call that growth. You know, I can call that growth from where Shane was with his old content. But other people don't seem to want to see that. They don't want to see it that way, and they're never going to want to see it that way. And it seems like they're always going to come for people who do defend Shane Dawson, or say, oh, but hang on a minute, Shane Dawson has changed, or try and use their brain and think logically and critically about things. Anyone who does that, Sharita and people like Sharita and, you know, anyone who doesn't like Shane Dawson will come for you. For me, the whole thing with this is, if you're going to forgive certain influencers for their racism, but yet you're going to hold others to a completely different standard, for me, that is hypocritical, and that is the main point that I was trying to get across in the discussion. And I did say that in the discussion on Twitter. I did say that it was the hypocrisy. You know, as far as I was concerned, it was all very hypocritical to me. And that's what these people who were kind of, you know, agreeing with Sharita and, you know, bashing me and anyone else who kind of said the same thing, that's what they weren't getting in that discussion. And I was like, okay, well, you know, this discussion isn't really going to go anywhere then, because if they're failing to see from our perspective that what they're saying and what they're doing is hypocritical, they're not going to accept it. They're not willing to see it that way. And, you know, the people who are kind of more for Shane Dawson and all of that are saying, well, hang on, Shane's taken accountability for himself. Shane's had all this time away from the internet. He's been able to, like, learn and grow and, you know, better himself. It's like, okay, well, if something's not going to bend here, then it's going to break, you know? You've got two sides who just won't agree with each other. The discussion isn't going to go anywhere. You know, from my point of view, I still think their point of view is extremely hypocritical, you know, and I'm not going to change my mind about that, and I'm not going to apologise for that. As I said, the only thing that I will apologise for in this whole discussion was the fact that I compared Sharita to Here for the Tea. You know, I shouldn't have done that. For that, I sincerely apologise. I can be big enough to apologise for that, you know. Sharita, whether Sharita chooses to accept that apology from me or not, her choice, you know. But I do apologise for that. That was petty of me. I shouldn't have brought Here for the Tea into the discussion. But, you know, my point still stands. That I do think they're being very hypocritical. People are being very hypocritical about this Shane Dawson comeback, you know, especially after he's had all of this time away where they've moved to Colorado, you know, and he's getting on with his life, staying out of drama, doing other things, working on some content. You know, I think, can you not give somebody a second chance when you've given other influencers a second chance? That was all I was trying to say in this whole thing. Anyway, guys, I'm going to stop this little video right here. I'm going to go and actually do a look, and I'll be back later on with more drama videos for you. So I'm going to say take care, stay safe, stay well. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.